Hello, hello. Um, Welcome everybody. Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Here it is morning, early morning in Canada. It is a very sunny morning, but it's actually really cold. So we have no things happening outside. Um, Anyways, welcome to the stream. My name is Axel from Get Speaking English, and we are going to do a crossword today. It is crossword day. So I believe that I have Facebook. I can see Facebook chat, I can see the Twitch chat, I can also see YouTube. So we are live in those three places, and I believe I actually am live in all three places. Yesterday I messed up and I was not live on YouTube, but I believe everything is working everywhere today. So feel free to say hello in the chat, let me know that you are alive. And I'm just going to take a couple of minutes to let everybody know how this is going to work, explain the process, and then we're going to get right into it. We're going to be doing this crossword today. So what is going to happen here? So we're going to go through this. I'm going to direct the conversation. I'm going to let you know which question we're going to work on when. I'm going to give you alternative clues, hints, definitions, different things to help you arrive at the answer. And then when you think you know the answer, or if you have some ideas, put them in the chat. And then when I see the answers, I will put them up on the board. And we're going to complete the crossword that way. So yeah, we're going to work together. Like I said, I will give out other hints and things like that. We will also be able to discuss the answers or any other language and things that come up along the way. And hopefully it'll be a really great opportunity for you to review a lot of English you already know, and then also hopefully learn some new vocabulary and phrases as well. So again, you are welcome to participate in the comments. You can participate on Facebook, on Twitch, on YouTube. I will be able to see your comments and your responses there. And yeah, so feel free to type in the chat and participate. Don't be shy. I do have a few rules though about how this crossword is going to work. So my first rule is no cheating. Okay, so we are not going to use the internet. I know a lot of these answers we could find just Googling really quickly. There are also websites dedicated to providing the answers to these crosswords. We're not going to do that. We're going to be better than that. I think we can use our brains, figure it out ourselves. So hopefully we will not need to use the internet. If we do need to use the internet, I will let you know. So only use the internet if I tell you to. Alright, great. Another thing too, please follow the conversation. So don't rush ahead, don't start throwing out answers to questions we haven't discussed yet. Don't ruin it for others, basically. Also too, if you happen to be here and you happen to be a native English speaker, please note that I am doing this activity for people who are learning English as a second language. So we are going to take some time to discuss vocabulary, phrases, things that come up along the way. So if you happen to be here, don't ruin it. Don't ruin it for the players. Be patient. Try to follow the conversation and contribute as we go along. And also, finally, too, please be nice to one another. So be nice to each other in the chat. Please don't fight or no name calling. Please be kind to me as well. I know sometimes I make mistakes. I am only human. I don't know everything ever. I also make mistakes on the crossword, and my knowledge is only limited. So please be kind to me as well. Let's just create a really nice, fun, safe environment where people feel comfortable being able to contribute and participating without judgment, basically. So let's be nice to each other. All right, and there's some important things that you should know specifically about this crossword that is going to help you. So some good things to know about this crossword are, second here. So some good things to know about this crossword. A lot of the clues, a lot of the questions are about English language. So they're about words, phrases, things like that. So luckily we won't have to need a lot of knowledge about trivia. I know some crosswords are just filled with information about trivia, pop culture, things like that. Luckily, we won't need to know that here. We are going to focus on the language, the words about language. So that's going to be our focus here. So you won't have to know much about trivia. It's also worth knowing that this is an American crossword. So that said, American spelling will be used, okay? So there are some differences between American and British spelling. So for example, some classic differences include the spelling of words like favor and color, or labor. So in American English, those words will end in an OR, whereas in British English, they would end in an OUR. Also words that end in "-ize", so that suffix, like realize, modernize, socialize, commercialize. In American English, they spell it with a Z, whereas in British English, they would spell it with an S. Also, too, words like center, leader, things like that, they're spelled with an ER instead of an RE in British English. So, some examples, there are many other examples as well with differences, but here, for the most part, everything is going to be using American English unless it tells us otherwise. Sometimes there's like hints, but usually it's American English. Also, a lot of the trivia is American trivia about geography, history, pop culture. So, but you won't need to know that. I'll take care of it. Also, usually the answer is the same form of the word that was used in the question. So for example, if in the question there was a plural countable noun, the answer will also be a plural countable noun. If the question had a past participle of a verb, then the answer is also going to have the past participle of a verb. So those always match, and that is very useful information to keep in mind. So that's going to be important. Also, some of the answers will be short phrases, and this crossword doesn't tell you when it's a multiple word answer. But that's fine. Hopefully I will be able to identify when an answer is a short phrase or multiple words, and we will be able to figure it out together. Yeah, so those are allowed. And also, finally, too, because we are here to review English, but we're also here to learn some new words. It's important to note that some of the vocabulary that is used in crosswords is useless in real life. So there are definitely words that show up on the crossword that I would never use as a native English speaker. So the same for you. There will probably be a few things that'll come up that won't be useful to you. However, hopefully we will learn a lot of very useful, very practical knowledge, and it should be a good review. It should be a good review, a good little learning opportunity for you. So I'll try to point out if something is completely useless, but yeah, every now and then there's something, but we will review lots of very useful things. Yeah, so that's it. So again, like I said, we are live right now on Facebook, on Twitch, and on YouTube. So again, feel free to say hello, and let's get right into it. So what do we have here? I looked at this earlier, and it's pretty straight. I think it's pretty straightforward today. Not too bad today. So we have a kitchen gadget. So a gadget, another word for a device, right? So kitchen gadget and copper coating. Copper obviously is like a type of metal. Actually, I don't think we're gonna get either of these right now. So I'm gonna let's get an easier one. Let's look for an easier one. So higher than, no longer feral. Sisters of sorts. And a donkey. Okay, let's do this one, maybe. So does anybody know what it means if something is feral? So feral. If you know, put it in the chat. Let me know. So something feral. I can't spell. Something feral. This is a word about animals. Alright, so it's kind of a word about animals. And let me know if you know it. I'm gonna fix my headphones for a second. So a feral animal is an animal that maybe lives, well, it might live outside, it might live in the wild. Potentially. Lives in the wild. Or lives on the streets. So, and note these collocations too. We say something lives in the wild or lives on the street. Kind of basic, like they're not pets. So kind of the opposite of being a pet, okay? So they are not pets at all, right? So they're kind of, yeah, they're kind of wild. They're kind of free. Really, not really kept by people. So we are looking for an adjective, basically. We're looking for an adjective, so it's probably going to end in an ed. It's going to be one of those participle adjectives. We're looking for an adjective that describes an animal that basically lives with people, if that makes sense. So it's a pet now. So, you know, an adjective that would describe an animal that, you know, lives in the home, is okay with people. So, you know, for example, a pet would be an example of an animal that is okay with people, being around people. Also, potentially, you know, I guess farm animals and things like that. Those animals would also be habituated to living with humans and things like that, right? So they're basically the opposite of a feral animal. They're okay being around people. People can interact with them. So we might call that kind of animal a tamed animal. So we tame an animal. So to tame an animal basically means to domesticate an animal almost. And, you know, get it used to living with people, basically. So I'm gonna put tamed in here. I think that's gonna be our answer here. Put tamed in there. And let's see what else we might be able to get. I think we could do this one. This is a super common English word. So this is, so at any time, at any point, okay? We are looking for an adverb. An adverb. An extremely common adverb. An adverb that means basically at any time or at any point, okay? And I'm gonna give you an alternative hint as well. We use this adverb all the time in the present. Perfect. There, a little English grammar related clue there. So we would commonly use this adverb in questions. So for example, if I were to say, you know, have you something, have you something been to Canada? There we go. There's a question with this word. So basically, have you been to Canada at any point in your entire life, basically? At any time? So what might this adverb be? So feel free to give a guess. You can put it on Facebook, put it on YouTube. Pretty sure I'm live all those places. Twitch as well, I can see your answers. So I think this answer is going to be ever. So ever is that adverb that means at any point. Or at any time. Right? And we know that the opposite basically is never, right? Like, I have never been to Canada. Could be your response, right? So here it never happened. It did not happen at any point in time, right? Yeah. So that's going to be the opposite there. Yeah. And then, just to continue our little lesson here about present perfect, right? So you could answer also very vaguely, being like, I have been to Canada. So present perfect again, right? But we did not indicate when it happened. We just know now that at one point, or maybe multiple points, we don't know, in the past, that I have been to Canada, right? But now if we want to give details about that, say if we want to indicate exactly, I don't know, when it happened, you know, we would change our tense to simple past. So for example, I went to Canada in 2023. So here, now that I've given a specific date, a specific time, I've switched it to simple past. So that's kind of important to keep in mind. When you are talking about the past, we tend to use present perfect for talking about things in general. And then we will use simple past for giving specific information. Anyways, okay, that was a fun little review. All right, so we don't have enough information for our kitchen gadget. We have our New Testament book. That's like a thing, an old counter. Let's do this. This is a thing, an old counter. So counter, we can see the word count here, right? So to count. So we know that this has something to do with numbers. Basically something that lets us count, right? So something that lets us count, right? And you know, these days you might do a lot of your math and things like that on a calculator, right? But way back in the day, there was this little funny little apparatus, had a bunch of beads on it that you would have used to counting. And I'm going to share a picture of it. Let me know if you know what this thing is called, because I believe that this is our answer. This counting device that they would have used back in the old days. Let me know if you know what that is. We can see something, something, a, something, something, something. I'll give you a hint too. It begins with an A. Oh. I'm gonna put an A here. If you think you know what this is called, let me know. What are these things? Here's kind of a better kind of a little better picture of it with kind of says how to use it. I honestly am not really sure how to use this, but I know what it's called. Do you know what it's called? This is an abacus. So an abacus. Abacus. So an old-fashioned counting device. Yes. So an old-fashioned counting device, basically. Yeah, something old-fashioned, something that was like used in sort of past times, old-fashioned. Yeah, so there we go. All right. Now let's do this one because I think that we have enough information that we can do this here. So higher than. So this is kind of like an adjective. Adjective, adverb. That's a good question. Teacher fail. Anyways, something B O V thing. This preposition. Okay, anyways, we're looking for a word that means higher than something else. So we can see that there's this comparative sort of thing, right? So for example, you know, if something was lower than something else, it would be below, right? Or under that thing, right? So we're basically looking for the opposite of these words. So basically, yeah, like an adverb or preposition, adverb that's going to indicate that direction. So if something is higher than, we can see that over doesn't fit, but over could potentially be an option. So any ideas? I think this is going to be above. A-B-O-V-E, so something above something else is higher than the other thing. Yeah, so there we go. So we got that one. Great. What else could we do here? We're not gonna get this one. No, we're gonna get this one either. Testament book. I hate when there's a lot of there's so much trivia in this little section. We could do this one maybe. So a sister. This is a type of, so as this here, sister. Usually a sister, we think brother and sister, right? We think about somebody in a family, right? It's usually, you know, like brother and sister, for example, part of the family, right? This is a little bit different though. This is a reference. This is a reference to Christianity. This is like a Christian word, like a religious word, kind of. So, you know, you'll have people who live in, you know, monasteries. They kind of work with the church. I spelled that wrong. Or say people who live in monasteries or temples, and they dedicate their lives to, you know, God, basically, right? And there is a word for a woman who does this. And they are known as sisters. So they wear this sort of this black robe, and they have this black sort of hood as well. I'm gonna get a picture. If you know what I'm talking about, put it in the chat. Yeah, I'm gonna get like a picture. So like all these religious, or not religious, like pictures from movies. Here we go. This is like a costume, so I don't think that this is like an authentic get up, but they would wear sort of this robe here. They have a veil. The veil is this part here. This whole getup is called a habit. I spelled that right. The habit. So the robe, basically, and veil. The veil being the part on top of the head. Anyways, this is a nun. This is a nun. So I think this is gonna be in here. So we're gonna put that here. So a nun. So let's put that in there. Our sisters of God, I guess. Yes, alright. Let's put that in there. What else do we have here? So many. Okay, I don't think. Let's do this one. So a donkey is an animal, right? Kind of like a horse, right? But there's a couple different words for donkey. A few different names for donkey. So we're looking, obviously we're looking for a three-letter word. Waiting for my thing to like load. Okay, here we go. So here's a donkey. But they have a couple different names for this, right? And we can see here, we're looking for like a three-letter word. This mostly, I mean, this is a good crossword word, basically. But you might call this a mule, right? A mule? Another name for a donkey, right? But then there's another word, and we will also use this word as a swear word. So basically a bad word. I'm sure you know lots of them in English, but it's also a swear word. We might use this to describe somebody who's a bit of a jerk. So who's a bit of a jerk, maybe, or is doing something stupid. Because donkeys are a little bit stubborn. Right? So they can kind of be jerks as well, right? So we might also use this word as a swear word. It's not polite, but as a swear word to describe somebody who's also that way. So I think this word is gonna be ass. So another name for a donkey, though, would be that. I would say these days it's more common to say donkey and to say mule. Not so common to call them asses. But sometimes I'll read it in books and stuff like that. So, but that's that one. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Oh, this is a trivia thing. This is also a trivia thing. Oh, I'm just gonna put the trivia Paris in here. This is this guy who, what is this? He flew too close to the sun? This is doomed flyer. Something doomed? I didn't explain that very well, but something doomed means that it's basically destined to fail. So it absolutely will not work out at all. And I think this guy, yeah, so here we go. Who is he? Looking for like a really... So in Greek mythology... Flew too close to the sun. I don't know the... I don't know the myth. I don't know the legend, the story. Let's see here. I'm gonna take this from Wiki. Like, look. There you go. Ugh. What? Let's not do that. Anyways, if you know about this, put it in the chat. Give us a really cute, like a really short little summary. But he basically flew too close to the sun and it was not good. So, anyways. Okay. Let's move on. Let's move on to useful things. Let's do this one. Let's do this one. So, so our kitchen gadget. So a kitchen gadget. So again, like a device, right? A device we would use in the kitchen. And we also have this here too. This copper coating. Which one we're gonna get first? Yeah, we could try both of these. So this one is what? Something A something E something. And then we have this something ATINA. I feel like this might be a new word for us. But basically when copper gets really, really, really old, it gets this green, sort of this green color, like this green coating on it. I'm gonna try to get a picture. You can see here, this, like, these are copper pipes. It's really, really old, and it has this green coating on it. We have this weird green coating on it. So if you know the word of this color, this coating, put it in the chat. And we'll also talk about this one, gadget device. So maybe we can get them together. So yeah, so we're looking for the name of this, so put it in the chat if you happen to know what it is. And this device, I think it's kind of a little device, a gadget that we would use to, what does it mean? To pair something. To pair something? To peel something. Basically another word for peel. I didn't spell that. Is that peel? Peel something. There we go. Peel something. So I think the other day we talked about a specific type of knife. A knife that we could use for that. Like a little knife. I'm trying to get a picture. Little knife that we might use for peeling things. So you might remember this from the other day, but yeah, to pare something means to peel something, so to remove the outer skin of something. To remove the outer skin of a fruit or vegetable. Yeah, so we're basically looking for a word that means to peel something. And the word is also in the name for this knife. So I think this is going to be a parer. So a parer. And usually we would use this word in a paring knife. That's probably the most common way that I see the word pair used, for a paring knife. And this coating is called a patina. We have the patina we have here. So this green sort of covering that happens when copper gets really, really old. Great. Okay. Yeah, let's do this one. Okay, so a decrease, right? So decrease can either be a verb or it can be a noun. Okay, so it could either be a verb or a noun. This doesn't give us any indication, but I think given how long this word is, this is going to be a noun. So we're looking for a noun. R-E-D-U. Something, 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 something. So basically a noun. That means a decrease, basically. So see if you can think of what it might be. We can see kind of part of the word here, or at least part of the base word. The base form. So give it a... Let me know what you think. It's not gonna be like... Reducing would be like a adjective or a, you know, a verb, right? So it's not gonna be reducing, but there is a noun though that we might use. No. I think this word is going to be reduction. Reduction. So basically a reduction is a decrease in something, right? Have a reduction, and the verb form of this would be to reduce, right? So to reduce, to decrease. So yeah, so to decrease something, to reduce, so reduction. Put that there. Another trivia thing. Not this, no, this is not trivia. So minute or minute. Talk about that in a second. Hawks and doves. I think we can get this one. So a hawk. So we're looking for, what is this? So something, 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 something. So, and we know that there's an S on it because in this clue there are S's. So these things, these hawks and doves, are a type of something. They're like, they are related somehow. I'm gonna give you a picture. I'm gonna get a couple pictures. Let me know if you think you know what that is. So a hawk is kind of a very big, an animal. They it flies through the sky. Big feathered animal. So this is a hawk. We have here our hawk. And similarly, a dove also is a winged thing, a winged animal. A little bit smaller though. A couple different types. Sometimes the white ones are associated with peace. But we can see both of these things are what kind of animal? Let me know if you think you know. I think we all know. But put it in the chat, let me know. these are types of birds, right? So types of birds. So hawks and doves are types of birds. Put it in here. B-I-R-D-S. Types of birds. Perfect. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see what else. We're gonna go back to this one. Need more information. Let's. Okay. I'm just gonna put this in here. This doctor, so DR here. This DR here obviously is short for doctor, right? And this here ORG is short for organization. So they're looking for, and both of these are an abbreviation, right? So an abbreviation of a longer word, right? So I think this is the AM, but AMA, American Medical, because it's an American crossword. But anyways, let's do a better one. A lamb lament. What the heck does that mean to lament? Lament. Lament is kind of an interesting word. It kind of means to complain. Usually if you lament about something, you're kind of complaining, or maybe you feel sorry about something, you feel sad about something. So it kind of means to cry. So here we go. To lament about something. To lament about something means to cry about something because you are sad, maybe, or maybe maybe complaining about something. Yeah, so to cry about something. Let me put this in a sentence for you all. Here we go. Here's a good one, I think. My grandmother, as usual, lamented the decline of moral standards in today's society. So she was kind of whining about it, a little bit sad as well. So, yeah, so a lament is kind of, it's a cry. And a lamb is an animal, right? Basically a baby sheep, right? So a lamb is a farmyard animal. Baby sheep. And they make a noise. So they make a cry. They make a noise. So, for example, you know, cows go moo, cats go meow, dogs go woof, right? Lambs go... Do you have any idea what lambs or sheep would make? What kind of sound would they make? Let me know if you think you know. Basically, yeah, we basically want the cry that a lamb would make. And they kind of have this, like, this little sound that they make. Also, too, if you know more of these, put them out there. So, you know, birds go chirp, right? Birds chirp. Yeah, dogs go woof. Horses neigh. Horses neigh. Anyways, lambs go They ba. So ba or maybe ba. So let's put maybe ba like this. Actually, what is this? Sigur. This person. I don't know who this person is, but this word is, his name is probably Aaron. So I'm just gonna put that in there. Yeah, so let's go with ba. Yeah, alright. So sheep go ba as well. Sheep also bleat. I think that's how they spell it. Bleat, there we go, yeah. So another name for the call that a sheep would make is a bleat. But yeah, sheep go ba. Let's put that there. Oh, what else here? Heading. Clue heading. Oh, this one's kind of funny. So, what is a clue? A clue is like one of these little questions, right? A clue is a bit of information, right? Sort of a bit of information that helps you find the answer. Something. And what is a heading? A heading is kind of like that uppermost, kind of like almost like a title, right? Right? So something that kind of goes above other things. And this clue is a little bit clever. So we have A, not A, something, something, R, something, something, something. This word is one of the headings for the clues, I believe, on this crossword. So let me know if you think you know what it is. So what are the headings? What are the headings for this crossword, I think? I'm gonna make sure you can see everything. Alright, wait, so we have here, we have down, right? So that is one of the headings for the clues in this crossword. So this is one heading down, and then we have this one, across, right? The across clues. So across is another heading for these clues. So I think this word is going to be across. That's a little bit clever. That's fun. Okay. Let's do this one. Let's another trivia. Tea additive. Okay, so tea. The hot drink, right? Tea. It's usually a hot drink. Sometimes there's iced tea, right? So iced tea would be a cold tea, where you would add ice to it, right? Which is a cold tea. But usually tea is a hot drink, right? And an additive is something you basically add to something. So for example, usually the word additive gets used when talking about food and manufacturing food and processing food. So it's a little funny in this context being used as a clue here, but we basically want a word for something that you might add to a cup of tea. So, something you might add to a cup of tea. So, for example, you might add, you know, a teaspoon of teaspoon maybe of sugar, right? A lot of people might put sugar in their tea. Some people might add a dash of milk or a splash of milk, actually, like a splash of milk. I'm gonna say a splash of cream, but most people don't put cream in their tea, right? It's usually milk. But maybe some sugar, some milk. And there's this other thing, this other substance that you might add. It's a sticky, there's a sticky substance that's made by bees. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to get a picture of it. You might add this to your tea. It's a very sweet thing. Very, very, very sweet. A kind of a natural source of sugar, right? Very, very, very sticky. Very sweet, extremely sweet. Usually very thick and viscous. Viscous, kind of a great word for something really thick. But this stuff here that we might add to a cup of tea. So let me know if you think you know what this is. So this is honey. So we might add honey to our tea. And let me know if you do that. Do you put honey in your tea? Let me know. I do sometimes. Sometimes if I have a sore throat, I might add honey to my tea. And try to think if I put honey in other things. Honey! Yes! Hey Miranda! Welcome! Yeah. Yeah, do you put honey in your tea? Let me know. Do you drink tea? Maybe you don't drink tea. I know not everybody drinks tea. So. But if you do, let me know. Let me know if you put honey in your tea. I think this is gonna be tricky. Not gonna get. I mean, maybe. We might be able to get this one though. This overly virile. I think I said that right. Virile. Ugh. Virile. Yeah. Virile. What is virile? All right. Virile kind of has to do with almost like sexuality or something. Like it's like the energy. So maybe energy that men might give off, I think is what the answer of this is. So I don't know if we're gonna know this. AC something. Oh, but there's kind of like this word we might use to describe, you know, very masculine men. Yeah, and water is really good. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I'll put it in water too. That's probably actually more like what I would do with it. I wouldn't necessarily put it in tea. Although I know some people add honey to tea. That's pretty good. Yeah, so a word that we might use to describe like a very, very masculine, very strong, powerful man. Something virile is like, or a virile man, or very, yeah, is, you know, very powerful, very strong. Yes, yeah. So see it on YouTube. Let's see if we get anywhere else. I don't think anyone is playing. But yeah, macho. Somebody macho. Oops, I can spell it. Macho. We might describe a man who is like that. So I think that's what this is gonna be. Okay. We're gonna know this. This is another. Yeah. Well, not trivia. You know, we might know this word. I don't really use this word. That's why I'm not sure. This word, this word, this A, B, A, something, H. This is a word we might use if someone, it kind of means to embarrass someone. Because if you're fazed by something, you're impacted or affected by something. Yeah, to phase someone means to surprise or worry them. So kind of similar here, this word kind of means to embarrass someone, but it's not a super common word. This is a better word. We'll go back and we'll talk about this one in a second, how we could use this one. But I usually see this used as an adjective, so it's a little bit weird seeing just the verb here. Yeah, so we have it on YouTube. Yeah, so abash here. Abash. Yeah, and that kind of means to sort of embarrass someone a little bit. But it's not a very common word. But here it is in a sentence. So her elder cousins abashed her by commenting on her shyness. So they kind of embarrassed her. Yeah, so I might use that one. I like phase though. Phase is a good word. I would probably use this more in certain collocations. So for example, here in the sentence here, you know, public speaking does not phase her. So does not phase her. She's not afraid of it. You know, it doesn't affect her. She's not afraid to speak in public. It doesn't bother her, right? So if something doesn't phase you, it doesn't affect you. Yeah, so if something, it doesn't bother you. So I would use it more in this sort of a negative sentence here. But that is a really good sort of very common phrase to know. So you're not phased by something, or, you know, this won't phase me. So that's a really great little word to know. We're not. If you're wondering what ore is, so here, the smelter. So a smelter is a person that works with like metal or rock. And there is this word that we use to describe minerals and things when they first come out of the ground. We might call it ore. So I was gonna put it. Yeah, phase is a new one. Phase is a good one though, especially like here, like something doesn't phase you. I would say this a lot. Yeah, like, no, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't phase me. It won't phase me. It won't affect me. So it's a very good little phrase to know. Oh, let's say this one maybe. So Everest. Everest is that, like, the highest mountain in the world, right? Everest, the highest mountain in the world, right? Highest mountain in the world, right? And there are these experts, these people basically that know the mountain extremely well, and they will lead other mountain climbers up the mountain, basically, so they could reach the peak. And there's a name for them. We might know this, we might not know this. Sort of a name for those, what are they, Mongolian or, Nepal people that climb the mountains really, really well. And they will basically lead the expeditions. Up the mountain to Everest. Yeah, this is kind of a good one. This might be, yeah, this is kind of more of a trivia. But here we can see some people that are basically this person going up the they would sort of lead other mountain climbers up up Everest. Anyways, these are Sherpas. Sherpas are the people who lead those expeditions up Mount Everest in particular, but also just other mountains and around the region. Yeah, so that's kind of an interesting one. Have you ever been rock climbing or mountain climbing or anything like that? I personally have not, but recently I have been talking to people who are into mountain climbing or rock climbing. They don't necessarily scale mountains, but yeah, I know a number of people these days who really enjoy rock climbing, at least, and it sounds really interesting and kind of crazy. So let me know if you've ever tried it before, or if it interests you. And I'm gonna see another one. See if I can find another good one. I kind of want to just put the name in here, but okay. Let's do this. Maybe this powerful people. These powerful people. Yeah, I've not done it either. I don't like heights, actually. So I don't think I would go rock climbing. But yeah, for whatever reason, these days I know a lot of people who are really into it. That's kind of fascinating. We might not get this, but we might describe. Yeah, I think it would be really dangerous. I know, right? So dangerous. So, but the people I know who do it, they're very, they're very fit and they're very physically active, and so it's really great. They seem to enjoy it a lot, but it does look very dangerous. These powerful people. I think of how to explain this one. So we might refer to people as, you could, you can be out of a group. Can be, out of a group, or, on the outside. Or you can kind of be part of the group. So you can be out of the group, on the outside. Or you can be part of the, the elite. Or part of the group, basically. So I think this word is basically going to be kind of like the opposite of this. Let's see if we can get it. My terrible explanation. But yeah, we might use this. It's like a preposition, basically. We might use the preposition to describe whether people are part of something or if they're against something or part of a group or outside of a group. Preposition, basically. And then we're gonna add a S to it. See if we can get it. So basically the opposite. Yeah, yeah, right? That's the answer though. Yeah. So we have the ins, people who are part of the elite, people who are powerful, they're the ins, and then the rest of us, at least I know I am, we're the outs. We are the outs. So, yeah, so the ins and the outs, basically. Let's see if we could do this one. So at first, looking at this clue, we would probably read this as minute, right? As in time, right? So we might read this as minute, right? To refer to time, 60 seconds, right? But there is another pronunciation of this word. So there's another pronunciation, and that is minute. Get it? Minute. Here we go. The other pronunciation is minute, which means very small. And I think this word, so this word is basically a synonym for very small, extremely small. So we have TE something, NS something. Not a super common word. There's a bunch of them. I mean, there's, you know, there's tiny, for example. Minuscule. Oh, minuscule is a great word. Like really tiny. Minuscule. Tiny or teeny also. Mini. I guess mini is short for minuscule, now that I think about it. And there's another one. I don't know if we're gonna know this one. But another synonym. For extremely small. Yeah, see if you can guess it. Teach, also one. Yeah, this is kind of a lesser, I would say a lesser known one. Miniature is a good one. Also, so many synonyms for tiny things. But this is definitely, I would say, like a lesser known ones. This one's teensy. Teensy. Also a word for something really tiny. I think this is gonna be teensy. Yeah. And I just gotta put this in here. So this guy, Matheson of the Baseball Hall of Fame. I think this is Christie. I usually just guess with the names. When we get more people, I will send you guys on Googling hunts. You guys can figure it out. But for now, since we're such a small group, I'm just gonna put it in here. Christie, let's put that guess there. Alright. what else do we got here? So here, so this word is pronounced lingerie, and I know that it does not look like that at all. But lingerie, and lingerie is basically women's underwear. So basically women's underwear. So we're looking for, we can see three-letter word for a type of women's underwear. Talked a little bit about women's underwear the other day. For different, I guess, different types of lingerie. I'm afraid to Google lingerie because I don't know if I want to see what comes up. Well, lots of different things. Here we go. Here is a sort of a set of women's lingerie. Yeah, so I see it in the chat. So here is some women's lingerie. So we have the panties, right? On the bottom. And yeah, and we have a bra, the bra on top, basically. Yeah, so that top part here. So let's put bra in here. There we go. So we have some women's lingerie. Perfect. Okay. What else here? Do you like space? And stars? Moon of Jupiter. Jupiter is a planet. The biggest planet in our galaxy. Biggest planet in our galaxy. And there's been really cool pictures of it circulating recently with from one of the newest God, words. One of the newest like satellites or whatever. Yeah, so Jupiter, the biggest planet, and the biggest planet in our solar system. The solar system is our system, the planets around the sun, right? Yeah, I really like space. And Jupiter has a couple of moons. I think it has 4 moons? I could be wrong about that. How many moons does Jupiter have? Oh, it looks like it has a... I think it has 4... Oh, look at that. It has 95 moons. Wow. What it has... I think it has 4 really big ones. This is the name for the largest moon, I believe. What's the name of the largest moon? Yeah. Oh, you're so close. I think Europe, like, what, Europe was almost named after this, right? But it's Europa. So Europa is the biggest one. So I think this is gonna be Europa. Yeah, so many moons. Oh my god. Okay. I'm wondering, yeah, I think there's like 4. There's Io. Oh, okay. So the most massive moons are the 4 Galilean moons. That's what I was. Here we go. I guess I wonder if Europe is the biggest. Maybe Io is. Anyways. Yeah. So Europa. That one. What else do we have here? We have a strike collar. Fact book. Magic potion. And stylish. Okay, let's do this one. This is a baseball. I think one of the Possibly. There's so many. There's 9. Like, apparently there are 95 of them. So, you could have a moon. Everybody could have a moon. We could all have a moon. Yeah, this is a baseball reference. You something, 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 something. So a strike caller. A strike in baseball is basically when the person doesn't hit the ball. Yeah, Uranus is one of the other planets. Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple different ones. I wonder how many moons Uranus has. Oh, I'm not gonna look at it. But a strike in baseball is when people, when the batter doesn't hit the ball. I think. I think. And there is this person that stands behind the batter who basically says whether the hit is good or the hit is bad, or if it's a strike or a foul ball. That's another one too. If a ball is foul, it's no good. There's a name for that person in baseball. He stands, kind of kneels, I guess. Kneels behind. And he basically calls whether or not it's good or not. Kind of see like this guy here. I think this guy here. I think it's that guy, yeah. Yeah. Stands behind. I guess this is the catcher. I don't really watch baseball. So my knowledge is really limited. But this person, any ideas? What do we call this person? Starts with a U. This has showed up in crosswords before, but we use the abbreviation before. But here it is the full word. Here is a full word. So this guy is the umpire. The umpire. We have the umpire, or ump for short. Sometimes it'll show up as ump in the crossword. But the umpire, I think, is going to be our strike caller. It's umpire. Alright. We got umpire. I think we could do this one. I think. So, attire. The word attire is it's a clothing word. You know, you might wear a specific attire for an event. So a specific set of clothing, for example. So you might, you know, stores might have a section for business attire, for example. So stores might have a section for business attire. So you would go there, you would be able to find different business clothing. Usually attire is kind of it's a formal word. So a type of clothing basically for specific type of event or formal situation. So we're kind of looking for another word to express this. And there's another way that we would use this word that's a lot more common. Yeah, so outfit is a good guess. Yeah, outfit is a really good guess. We can see that it doesn't fit here. This is a less common use of this word, but this word is also the name of a piece of clothing that a woman might wear. So where you have, there's a skirt with a skirt that is basically attached to the top portion of the article of clothing. So this is a word, the name of a piece of clothing that a woman might wear with a skirt that is attached to the upper part of the clothing. I'm gonna get a picture. I'm gonna get a picture. I'm gonna give it a picture of this thing. So a piece of a thing that a woman might wear. For example, one of these, maybe. One of these. Yeah, so dress. Yeah, so dress. Yes. So we can also use the word dress just to refer to like a style of clothing, but it's a lesser known sort of I'm gonna like look here. I mean, you would dress some. Well, this isn't. There we go. Yeah. So here, yeah. So use, especially in combination, to refer to clothes of a particular style, especially those worn in a specific situation. And here is an example of how we would use it like this. So the king, in full ceremonial dress, presided over the ceremony. So the king, dressed in ceremonial clothing, basically led the ceremony, is what this says. So that's gonna be dress. Yeah. Alright, but more commonly, we would just use it to describe this article of clothing that a woman might wear. Alright, great. What else can we do here? I guess there's a lot of trivia in this today. Do you play, does anybody play guitar? This is a guitar thing. Let me know if you play guitar. I don't play guitar, but I know a lot of guitarists. Kind of tricky, sort of. Sure. Yeah. In the future. I think we can get this one. So another adverb, I think. I think this is an adverb. We're looking for a word that means in the future. Yeah. So a word that means in the future, so not, you know, after, basically the opposite, you know, of after. Right, so if after is sort of in the past, there might be a word that we would use to indicate the future. I'm gonna put it in a sentence, and I think we might be able to figure it out, maybe. Maybe because January is New Year's, right? New year for a lot of people, you know, a lot of people look back at the year in at the year in December, and then look something to the future. I don't know, in January. That's probably a terrible sentence. But here you would look something into the future, and that is going to be this word. What might we put here? Yeah. Yeah, because the new year kind of prompts us to reflect on what happened, and then you look forward, right? Or you look, whatever this word is. You have a lot of optimism, usually. Think about what you want to accomplish. I'll give you a hint. Starts with an A. Yeah, ahead, exactly. Ahead. There we go. Ahead. All right. So there we go. Looking ahead to the future. Really important, I guess. So this is a guitarist, Paul. There's a I didn't really know this guy as a guitarist, but there are these very expensive, really nice guitars that all of my guitarist friends really love. This one here. This guitar here is a Gibson Les Paul. And I think this is less, I think. Let's put it in here. Let's try that. Very expensive, very nice guitar that a lot of people really want. A lot of them are vintage, too. So vintage as in they're kind of old. Not quite antique, but kind of old and hip. Yeah, so let's put that there. And let's do this one. So the slalom, I don't even know how to say that, but this is a place where people go sledding. Or skiing, I guess. Let's see if I can get a good picture for it. So usually this is okay, here we go. I don't this slalom. Wait, let me check the pronunciation of it. It's a sport. I don't watch slalom. I was saying it right. So slalom. It's the skiing thing they do at the Olympics, the skiing game, the skiing race, right? And we can see that they have to kind of weave in and out of these flags, basically. Okay? So the shape of the course is very, very curvy, right? We can see it here, right? It was kind of like one way. It's a zigzag back and forth. And there is a letter. There's a letter of the alphabet that we might use to describe this shape. It's like a... I cannot see, it's covered. Oh. Oh, sorry. Okay. There we go. Is better. Okay, cool. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, so the slalom shape, we might say, is we would use a letter of the alphabet to describe this shape. Okay, we would use a letter of the alphabet to describe this shape. And we can kind of see there's like an S here. I will spell it out. But what letter does this remind you of? Letter in the alphabet. It's not a T shape, you know. Kind of like a, maybe a W? I don't know. It's not an H, you know? Kind of like a C shape, maybe. We're gonna say that it has an S shape. This is an S shape. And we're gonna spell it out. It is S. Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna spell it out. We're gonna spell it like this. S. E-S-S. E-S-S. Yeah, that's typically how we would spell S if we were to spell it out. So it has an S shape. This is a very common crossword answer. So we'll be seeing more of this. And let's do the magic potion. Let's see if we could do it. So something magic, something kind of mysterious, right? A little bit natural, right? And what is a potion? A potion is kind of like something, it's like a liquid. Like here. Well, I don't know, these are from video games, I think. But we can see here in these pictures, there's like all sorts of little, these little magic potions. It has these bottles, right, with this liquid. This liquid would have some sort of magical property, right? Magical property. And there's kind of another word that we might use to describe these potions. We can see that it starts with an L. We might be able to get this one. Maybe. We might also use this word just to refer to a mixture of something. Or maybe also something that you would use for medicine? Maybe? So this word can be used to describe a potion, but it can also be used to describe maybe a medicine, kind of. And it's kind of like a liquid here. Might be a new word for us, which is quite possible. There's an exit. There's an exit. I'll put that there. I suppose we could maybe also look one of these other ones too, but we're not sure. Yeah. Yeah. Do we know this one? We might know this one. I don't want to say this because I'm gonna butcher it. But Buenos, what is it? The capital of Argentina. Capital of Argentina, I believe. Right? The capital city of Argentina. Yeah, elixir! There we go. Yes, elixir. We have elixir. Perfect. So we have elixir here. Buenos Aires, capital of Argentina. Something stylish. So here, I'll just like get rid of here. The stylish here, something stylish. It's kind of trendy. Usually we might describe somebody who wears, we would use this word to describe somebody who wears really nice clothing. They have a good sense of style. So stylish, word to describe someone who wears, you know, nice clothing, trendy clothing, for example. And we might say that this person is hip. Somebody is hip, is stylish, in the know thing. Alright. Well, let's do, what else do we have here? Alright. We're almost done here, I think. Great expanse. I'm looking. Alright, let's do this one. So this word has come up, I think, in 3 crosswords now. This one here. What does it mean to drop the ball? To drop the ball, this is a great idiom. Basically means to make a mistake. So to drop the ball basically means to make a mistake. And we can see here that we're looking for a 3-letter word that basically means to make a mistake. Or to make an error. And we could kind of see this word is kind of part of the root word in one of these. Let me know if you remember. Sure, yeah, exactly, air. So air, always in the crossword, making a mistake. Air, but we can see that the root word here is an error. Perfect, so let's do that one. A great expanse. So something great, really, really, really big. And an expanse is kind of a wide, open area. So for example, a wide, open area. So I think thinking for a second. Okay. So we're looking for the name of something that is really huge, basically. This here. It's the name of something really huge, really big, really open. Like, for example, like a plane would be an example of an extremely huge, wide open space. You know, there's nothing in it, basically. So here's a plane. And it kind of an example of a really big expansive, huge, wide open area. So that's one example, right? Maybe a desert. I suppose a desert could be another example of a really big, wide open sort of area. Maybe. Especially if a desert is extremely big, right? But there's nothing in a desert, right? We're looking for another, basically another geographical feature that is really, really big, really, really wide. Nothing in it. I'll give you a hint. It's wet. It's very wet. It's a very wet, great expanse. A very wet one. So, it's very wet. Super wet one. Like a large lake. Here we have, here in Canada, we have the Great Lakes. Those are extremely huge. A very big expanse. Example. Sea? Yeah, a sea. I think this one is sea. So a sea would be an example of a really great expanse. Also too, we could also consider the sky being it as well too, right? Because it's really big and open. Nothing in the way, right? But I think like we can't have RK, right? That doesn't make sense. So I think the answer is C. Let's put C in here. Okay. Checked this. I'm gonna put an S here. Maybe let's do this one. So what does it mean if something calls for something? So if something calls for something, it maybe requires something. So we're basically looking for a synonym for this. So a verb that basically says the same thing. Oh, something that calls for something, kind of like it demands that, or it requires that. It's like a necessity almost. Yeah, so exactly. So I think this is needs. Need. Let's put need in here. So we have need, needs. Perfect. Okay. Not gonna get this. We might know this. Maybe. This is an animal. So a mink is a type of animal. A mink is a type of animal. A mink is a type of animal that is commonly used to make fur coats. They these like little guys. So here, a mink, one of these guys, they're commonly used to make fur coats. And there's its cousin, there is a related animal that lives in the water. I'm not sure if these animals are found all over the world. They're definitely found in North America. I'm trying to get a picture. Here we go. Wait. Here we go. There's some little guys. They swim. We're looking for the name for these guys, but we might know this one. No, I've seen these, I've seen YouTube videos with these guys, with tamed ones in Japan or something like that. So I think they must live in various different parts of the world. Yeah. You see the first world? I do not. So this is a mink. So a mink type of animal. This little furry guy here. And yeah, we're looking for the name of this little guy here. They're carnivorous. They usually live in rivers, or they live in the ocean. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes, I can do that. It starts with an O. Sorry, it took a minute. Starts with an O. Starts with an O. I'm gonna start with an O. This little guy. Yeah, I'm not sure where all they live. Here we have ones that live in the sea. They also get hunted. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so these guys are otters. Otters. So I think this is gonna be an otter. They live in the water, either in rivers or in the oceans. And YouTube sometimes recommends me videos of people that have pet otters, and they're kind of cute. Anyways, yeah. I didn't know that people kept them as pets, but apparently. Anyways. What else do we know here? We're not gonna know this. Put it in here. Something here. The black out portion of text. I guess there's a lot of tricky words in this today. Usually the crossword on the weekend is harder than other crosswords during the rest of the week. I think because we don't get a newspaper on Sundays, so they make it extra hard to give people something to do over the weekend. But let's see here. So the blacked out portion of a text. So for example, you would do this. This is gonna be the noun form, but we probably might know the verb form of it, maybe, or rather the adjective form of it. Yeah, I don't know if otters build things. Beavers do, and they're very similar. Yeah, I'm not sure about otters. I think otters, I don't know where they live. Yeah, we're looking for, so here's an example of text that has had everything kind of blacked out here. So it's basically all the sensitive information has been blacked out, blackened out, or has been crossed out. All the sensitive information. Sensitive information is details that are kind of private. So sensitive information, something basically private information that not everybody should know. So there's kind of a word that we would use for this. And let's focus on something. Let's try to do like the adjective form of it, maybe. This is an example of maybe something. Trying not to say it. Something text. The text was removed. The text was censored almost. So censored is a good guess, but censored we can see doesn't fit there. But yeah, is exactly the idea. This is almost a legal term, I feel. They'll use it. Yeah, kind of more for sort of very official contexts or something. A little bit of a one. This could be a new one, but yeah, it essentially means that it's censored. Taken out. Yeah, this word was tricky. This is redacted. So when text has been, like, when the information has been removed like that, we would say that the information was redacted. So here we go. So officers' names are routinely redacted from any publicly released reports. So it was removed. Here's another example too. Some parts of secret files are available to the public, but heavily redacted. Again, a lot of information, a lot of details have been removed, edited out. So I think this word, because now we want the noun form of this. So something redacted might be a redaction, I think. A redaction. So let's put that in here. So redaction. So redaction, not a very common word, but redacted is definitely a word that you will hear. You'll hear it in the news and things like that. So it just means that, yeah, the sensitive information has been censored out. It has been taken out, redacted, so it can be published, basically. All right. What else? See if we can do this one. So unmoving, so something that doesn't move, right? So we're looking for an adjective. Something. Kind of like the opposite, like something that is yeah, something maybe something that can change. We're looking for a word basically that means unmoving, maybe like motionless or fixed. That's kind of a tricky words today. Yeah, tricky. Like stationary almost. It ends in a C? Maybe? Static. Yeah, there you got it. Exactly. Static. Yeah, so something static. Doesn't move. Stays in one place for a really long time. And let's put this in a couple sentences, yeah, so we can see how it's used. So here, for example, we can say that prices have remained static. Prices will be static, so oil prices have remained static for the last few months, so they haven't changed, right? See if I can do another. Yeah, but anything is static. Doesn't really change. Okay. Anyways, I'm not seeing good example sentences, but yeah, doesn't change. Three. Those. So track athletes. So track would be a place where people would run, basically. Like a racing track, right? So basically a place where athletes would run, right? So we know that we have some sort of like question, some sort of word that has to do with this activity. And we could kind of see part of it here. Thing or as I think we can kind of like just kind of almost see it, right? Her life is static, kind of be so like not changing. Yeah, I think you could say something like that. Yeah, her life is pretty static. Yeah, racer. Yeah. Yeah, kind of unchanging. I don't know if I would if I would use static to describe somebody's sentence. Let's see how people are really unchanging. We would use it for describing information. Definitely. Like if you were describing information off of a graph or something like that, you could say that, you know, the numbers are static, they don't go up and down or something like that. You know, your if something doesn't change, like maybe your website doesn't change, that's static. But yeah, prices would be static. Yeah, something to describe something unchanging. Yeah, so we have racers. We got that here. Racers. I wonder if we might know this one. This is probably gonna be a new word. We're looking for a word, so something laughable is silly. This word was in yesterday's crossword. If you were here, it was in yesterday's crossword. We talked about things that were silly. So, something that's silly that you can laugh at, basically. Something laughable is something that you are able to laugh at. I don't know if you were here yesterday, but this was in yesterday's crossword. And if not, this could be a new word. Usually we would use this word for something to describe something like really silly, so ridiculous that you can't take it seriously. So something so ridiculous that you cannot take it seriously. Laugh at it because it's insane, basically. Yeah, Any guesses? You could probably guess that there is a consonant here. Like, oh, yeah, this one's inane. Exactly, inane. I think it came up right at the end of yesterday's crossword. So this one's inane. So hopefully we got it. I think we got it. There we go. We did it. So great job. Great job. Thanks so much for your help. Really appreciate it. I really appreciate your support. So yeah, so thanks again. Feel free to give this a like. If you happen to be on Facebook, I've been trying to share these with different groups and things like that to try to get more people out. So if you know anybody who you think would be interested in playing along, especially people, you know, who are learning English at an advanced level or even a C2 level, who are looking for proficiency, because sometimes these words get pretty tricky. This is a really good activity for us to do together. So spread the word. Anyways, I am not going to be doing one of these tomorrow. I'm not going to be doing one of these Monday. On Tuesday, I am going to be back. I am going to be doing a live lesson for the B2 First C1 Advanced exam, and I think the topic is fast fashion. So we're going to be looking at some speaking part 4 questions. So questions in the style of that part of the speaking paper. All about fast fashion. It's going to be about sustainability, because I've been talking about sustainability lately. Yeah, so that is happening at what, 1500 UTC? But 1500 UTC on Tuesday. I am going to be doing that, and it's going to be interactive, so that's going to be great. We'll all be able to sort of participate, put together our ideas, and I will put them all together on the in the lesson notes and everything like that, and then I will upload everything to YouTube afterwards, so we will have it as a reference. So that's going to be really great. So that will be live on Facebook and YouTube. I'm not going to be putting it on I'm not going to be putting it on Twitch. But yeah, so you're more than welcome to come out for that. And then on Wednesday, I will be back for more crosswords at this time, at the same time. So thanks so much for coming out. It was really great to see you. I really appreciate your help. Yeah, and that's it. I hope you have a really fantastic weekend, and hope you have a good rest of your day. And I will see you all next time. All right. Thanks so much, guys. All right. Have a good one.